Hello and welcome to the Ascertainers, episode 4. That is Mark.
Hello, everyone.
I am Jim. Episode 4 would indicate that after 3 of these, we still have the burning desire to make one that's good, and maybe this will be the one. You never know. What this is? We're a couple of Minnesota guys, been neighbors for 20 plus years. Decided that we probably should document our conversations because they're so riveting, and sometimes people laugh when they hear us together. So the other thing I want to make sure that everyone knows is sometimes we'll make references to fictitious characters, and the idea is that we're going to try to keep everybody anonymous. We might wind up talking about somebody that we know, but we want to protect their anonymity. Look that one up, Mark. That's that town in New York where they had the haunted house.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And but yeah, so if it's a person who we are talking about that will, to protect their anonymity, that is a good guy or gal who is doing something positive, they would be known as an Audie. Mark can explain that in a second. And the other, if they're being a kind of a tool, then we would refer to them as a chumley. But we're not going to say names. We're not, this is all about goodwill. But sometimes, because the story requires it, we might have to talk about real life people, but we don't want to ruin any other lives than our own. So that is pretty much it. We told some neighbors about this podcast, so we got to really step up our game and start to deliver. Otherwise, they might ask us to move again. But anyhow, we did get our first email. Mark, tell me about Audie and how that came about.
Right. We're going to use it with the first email. Our neighbor Audie sent us an email.
Oh, that is good. This is almost like we practiced this.
Yeah,
and prepared.
Perfect segue.
So Audie sent an email. What did Audie say in his email, Mark?
Well, to get back to Audie, it would be more if I'm going to steer us in the right direction here. No, I'm kidding. That's a little inside joke about the production meeting we had earlier. But
I think it was inside. I don't think joke is the right word. But so we have to say that we do have an email address because we think we're pretty cool. And it is theascertainers@gmail.com. And one of our listeners / my next door neighbor sent an email, and it said...
Well, yeah, what it said...
I thought you knew. It said we should have some music to come in and out of the show with. He said 70s music, which I am a big fan of, but our royalties budget is it's a little flat right now, so we could probably come up with some unknown local artists that would donate some sounds to us.
Yeah, I heard of this band, local band, Mossball.
Mossball Torsion is our old neighborhood band. We can talk about that at some point. But also... Audie, our emailer, said, he said, you need to have some bumper music. He asked when the next episode was, and then he had a very, very important comment that says that Mark slurs when he's been drinking too much. So you got that going for you, Mark.
Yeah, I'll be 60 next month, so I probably also sound like I have rocks in my mouth now. You know how older people get, they have that.
You're going to be 60.
I'm going to be
60.
60.
All these years I said you're way older than me. I'm in my 50s, and you'll be in your 60s.
I'm still in my 50s.
Well, for now.
For a month or
but boy,
2
I'm going
weeks.
to take full advantage of this for the time we're given.
But Audie came up. We talked about this before, but just a name that I thought would be good that you don't hear it anymore. And it was after Audie Murphy, the World War II decorated Army soldier that turned to Hollywood after that. But he was pretty famous back, as Jim would say, when I was a little kid.
When Mark was a teenager back in the Big War. Oh, no, World War II, I'm sorry. You know what they call...
Wasn't that was the Big War?
Well, I was way too old to realize, and I also never paid attention in school, but we call it World War I now, but back then it was just called the Great War, right?
Yeah, well, yes.
Because how would you know that there's going to be other world wars?
Yeah, was it the Great War or the war to end all wars?
That could be. I don't know. You're the history guy.
I am not.
Oh. So we got something to look up. A little homework.
But it is. That's a great observation that...
Thank you.
Just when things come up, and then after World War II, instead of going World War III, well, nothing has been. We had Korean.
Yeah, what's going on? What qualifies it to be a world war?
Well,
is the Korean War pissed? Because come on, man.
Well, that I guess because China was in it, but not really, and another thing is they never signed a peace treaty between North and South Korea. They're still at war.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Kind of keep it open.
Yeah, you never know when someone's going to upset you, and you just start going at it again.
This is still war.
And then conflict instead of wars now.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow, this has gotten really.
This is good. Hey, I was at one of our spots that we frequent, the birthplace of the podcast, Newt's.
Man, they should sponsor us.
Well, I think that if they just threw in maybe a couple extra fries on the next order, that would make us feel pretty darn good about ourselves. But my smoking hot wife and I what's a female Audette? Nah. We'll think of something. Newt's has a thing called pitcher night. Pitcher, not like what hangs on the wall or the guy on the mound, but a pitcher of beer night. It's half-price pitchers. And like they say, when you're ordering wine, if you're going to have more than 3.5 glasses, you might as well just get the bottle, right?
Right.
Well, I usually have about, I think it's 2.5, or maybe it's 3 on the pitcher. Anyway, half-price 6. So we're sitting there, and there was this party next to us. We're sitting at the bar, and it was a man and 2 women, and they were kind of, just having a good time. We were, a couple seats apart, but there was nobody between us. And the guy says, "You know what? I'm going to order a Bud Light." And he kind of made it sound like a big deal to say that. And as he gets it, I say, "Oh, I see you're drinking a Bud Light. Is that because you're trying to make a political statement, or just because you like the taste of Bud Light?" And he goes, "I just like the taste of Bud Light." And then I realized that I was drinking something called Mind Haze. And I don't even know that. I think it might be Firestone or Freestone or something. I know nothing about A, who even makes that beer, and B, what their political stances are. So I say to the Bud Light controversy, this is America, baby. If you like Bud Light, drink it. If you don't like what they advertise with, go drink something else.
I can't tell you the last time I saw a Bud Light advertisement.
It used to be good, too. Bud Light used to have some good ads. Real Men of Genius. Remember that?
I didn't care for
Here's
that.
to you, Mr. Always tends the grill at the party guy. Or, they had their share of... I thought they were good. But maybe you're like, you're tired of it.
I thought Miller Lite had the best back with the sports guys. Bob Uedeker and...
Bob who?
Isn't it Uedeker?
It's Euchre. Uedeker?
Uedeker.
It is. It's just... Oh, shoot. It better be... I think it's just Bob Euchre.
I think you're right.
Okay there, Uedeker.
Uedeker. It just sounds funny, so that's why I threw it
sounds... it has more texture.
But he became famous off of those.
Like if someone of our generation, if you say all we need is one pin, Rodney, they would know what you're talking about.
Right, yes.
I mean, they had seriously ensemble casts, and boy, I bet you got to sell a whole lot of beer to pay all those guys. Or maybe they just paid them in beer.
And the Christmas Budweiser commercial. But that's Budweiser, not Bud Light.
Well, it's the same thing.
No, there's one's
light and one's... You ever hear someone order something when they go, "Hey, I'll take a Bud Heavy"? That means just a regular Bud. You're like, oh, that makes sense.
Do you ever watch movies that when they go to the bar and they say, "What do you have?" "I'll just have a beer." Yeah, what kind of beer? No one ever asks that. They just say okay and come back with a beer.
Well, on TV shows, it would just be beer, like it would just say beer on the thing. It wouldn't say like you wouldn't know what brand it is because they can't do that.
Right.
But in a movie, they could. That's called product placement, Mark.
But they don't.
Or as you would call it, product placement. Utica? All right. So, yeah, I guess, hey, while we're on that, I noticed that you drink Coors Light, and you've drank that for as long as I've known you. We all know that Coors Light is basically water, and that you can't get drunk on Coors Light unless you're me on New Year's Eve at Mark's house, where I screamed to his wife. The best part about this Coors Light is you can't get drunk on it, as literally I'm like an inch from her face and speaking at a high volume. So apparently you can, only on holidays. But what do you have a rationale behind why you buy Coors Light, or
Yes.
knowing you, is it just because it's on sale more often?
No, I moved into this neighborhood, and we would always get neighborhood get-togethers.
And that we didn't drink Coors Light, I know that.
No, we started off Miller Light.
I thought it was always Mick Golden.
Oh, it was McGolden.
That was called band beer.
Yes. But then, so I would bring a case wherever I went in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Because that's what everybody drank, and you pass it out. And then all of a sudden, for about one summer, everyone was drinking Coors Light.
Huh.
So I show up with the Michelob Golden Draft Light, and I'm like, I want to fit in. And now you guys switched it on me again. So I went to Coors Light, and then they switched to something else after I started buying Coors Light. So
they switched to calling you up. They said, oh shit, there's Mark. Put the beers away.
Let's make him feel bad again and switch to...
You know, I was there one time. It's going to make you sad. I apologize for this, but... And you know I don't have the best eyes, so I wasn't part of this. I'm trying to, shirk responsibility here, but somebody goes, oh, here comes Mark. And then they said, what kind of beer is he carrying? And they said Coors Light. And then we all put our Coors Lights away and pulled out. We have 4 different beer brands, cold case of each. And we just pulled out, the one that wasn't Coors Light and started drinking that.
You're probably saying that as a joke, but I do believe it in some way.
Do I look like I'm joking, Mark? You had to hear it. You're going to be 60. How many more trips around the sun you got? Okay, later on tonight. Oh, you want to talk about beer anymore? Or,
No.
Did we ever talk? We talked about the neighborhood band, I think. That was kind of a cool thing.
Oh, we just brought it up tonight.
Yeah. But no, I think on a previous episode. But
wow.
Mark was the
My memory's terrible.
Mark was the bass player for the band that almost made it all the way to out of the neighborhood. Mossball Torsion had a guy named 4 guys named Audie.
Right.
So we had a singing drummer. We had a pretty average rhythm guitar player
that couldn't keep time.
Oh, I was trying to be nice. And then Mark on the bass, and then the rhythm guitar player had a friend who was kind of a virtuoso. He lived in Pennsylvania, but they'd fly him in for like a weekend and record as much stuff as they could. And the guy that guy could play. He was like, he had the gift. He was touched.
Yeah, he goes one time, what do you want to play? I said, let's play Dreams. He goes, was it Marshall Tucker, or then he goes, is it Allman Brothers? He starts naming off all these bands that did that. And I just looked at him and go, I don't know which one can you play. He said, any of them.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
He was extremely introverted, which I felt bad for him, because I remember there was a party and he just sat there with his guitar. And he was like a circus attraction. People would just walk up and go, Sultans of Swing. And then he'd rip off a few measures.
Or do the Peanuts thing on the neck.
Oh, yeah. He could play the Peanuts theme. Peanuts. Hello, Charles Schultz. Phrasing. Is this thing on? The Charles Schultz comic strip Peanuts with Charlie Brown, they had that cool intro, so he could play like the piano part, or he could basically play like the low part and the high part. Not sure if you're picking up on this. There's two separate parts, but he would play them on the neck of a guitar. And it was, to us, that was about as cool as it got. Cause,
it was like he was playing a piano with his fingers on the neck. It was. Was I slurring my words already when I said peanuts?
No, I don't know if anyone plays a piano with anything but their fingers, but okay, that's fine too. Later on tonight, this is actually a big night for Minnesota sports, and I'm glad we can call it Minnesota, and we don't have to think of a former Army hero for our state name. But anyway, the Minnesota Twins baseball team, the Minnesota Wild hockey team, and the Minnesota Timberwolves basketball team are all playing at home tonight. So I'm sure nothing bad will happen downtown tonight.
No, and
well,
Twins,
one's in St. Paul, so
Twins are playing in this. It's snowing out right now.
Yeah, we don't
That'd
like
be miserable.
Weather in springtime in Minnesota is quite an unpredictable thing. Last week, was it just last week? It was.
Yeah,
it was in the 80s for 2 or 3 days, and
almost 90.
I don't know if it got to 50 this week.
I don't think
and
it did.
And some days in the 30s. So yeah, it's. You say what you will about climate change, but I think weather in Minnesota has always been crap. So you got that going for you.
Wait 5 minutes and it'll change.
Yes, it's like Seattle. I was in Seattle once in my hotel room, 4th floor of the hotel. I look out the window. I go, cool. Don't need an umbrella. Get down to the bottom floor, pouring. It's like, how the hell this has really happened? So it does change quickly in Seattle. It's not just an expression. So I wanted to ask you, because I think that the people need to know, as a hockey fan, how do you like the Wild's chances tonight against the Dallas Stars?
Good. I don't think Fleury's in the net tonight. Or have they...
I can't believe you actually answered the question. I was making fun of you because you hate hockey.
I don't follow it. I never played hockey growing up. I was a basketball player. You know, it's hard to believe that someone in Minnesota... I don't even ice skate.
Do you ever have skates?
I never had skates.
Really? Oh, that's kind of sad. But I know you had like a big family and you didn't have a lot of resources growing up. So
I did have a pair of skates. You know, when you're a toddler, it has 4 blades at the corners of the shoe of the skate.
Or they tie up onto your boots and stuff? Those kind? Or?
No, it was actually a pair of skates, but they had 4 blades, like training wheels.
Those sound cool.
And so that was the only time I ever skated.
Huh.
And I was so good at it.
I'll tell you what, we were not exactly wealthy growing up, but yeah, got to play hockey. That's why I quit playing hockey, actually.
Too expensive?
Well, no, my brother and I got 2 brothers. One of them is like you. He was always the goalie on boot hockey. He never, and in Rochester where we grew up, we had, at that era, there were like, well, we didn't have any Olympians on our side of town, but, Division I hockey players, I mean, a lot of them. Anyway, I don't want to get into it, but like really good. But they play a lot of boot hockey, which is street hockey, right? Just like in Wayne's World, car.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You got to move the net and stuff like that. So anyway, my oldest brother never skated, also never swam. Very weird. I got to talk to him about this. But my middle brother and I played hockey. We were both just okay. I don't think he was great. I sure wasn't great. Nobody told me what offsides meant for like the whole time I played. So our team would get the puck and I would just go flying on the ice and it's like whistle. I'm like, what? Honestly, you would think a coach would just go, "Hey, idiot, you can't beat the puck over the line." So,
he probably did say that to you about 8, 9 times.
God,
and
I think I would have remembered because I hated it. It was not good. But anyhow, so my brother and I were sitting in the living room of our cool little Rochester house, and we were getting ready to go to the sporting goods store to buy like new equipment for that year because we were outgrowing our stuff. And I usually got the hand-me-down, but the stuff that was handed down was even too small. So Anyway, I just remember hearing my dad, who was going to take us. He walks through the kitchen, and we can kind of hear him. And I won't finish the word, but it started with F, and it was a long, drawn out, and then the puck dropped from there, and I was like, I don't think he's very into this, purchase or whatever. And I actually didn't sign up that year because I was going into Bantams, and which is like pretty good checking in that. And I was a real kind of a slight kid, and didn't like getting hit all that much. So I hung it up after my Pee Wee
that
years.
brings up, I didn't play hockey, and I don't know how that worked in high school, but our football team, even in high school, you got all the equipment.
Oh, yeah. Well, you probably paid something, but you had to turn it back in, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think my parents paid, $20 for a season? I know my senior year, we pitched in for practice jerseys.
Okay.
But that was all the money we had to put into it.
And football makes money for the school, too, so they should, Well, you had to buy your own shoes, right?
Yeah, that was... and socks.
Did you go with the homemade cup?
No.
I heard you use just a coffee cup. Little handle on it.
I used the coffee can, but the sharp edges would cut.
That's how you hold it on. I've seen it under tape.
But in basketball, at our school, we had our basketball uniforms were old. If you saw Hoosiers,
I saw Hoosiers.
Those really short shorts, they didn't have elastic. They had buttons and a belt to hold them up.
Are you kidding me?
I'm serious.
You are old. That is wild. I'm sure you just went up you were like, well, I can't really dribble so good, but wow, look at those shorts. I'd like to be seen in those.
Man, they were.
Were they ball huggers? Were they John Stockton type?
They were one of those swimsuits that the Europeans wear.
Speedos?
Speedos, yeah. That's what they look like. Now looking back, it's like, wow, we really wore those?
Those are coming. I think they're making a comeback.
Wow.
Shorts are an interesting topic. Maybe we could talk about that never on a thing. So you don't like hockey because you never played hockey. Okay. And I don't like basketball because I never played basketball. Boom. End of topic. Shit. We should have left ourselves some room on that one.
Although if there's a sporting event on, I'll watch it.
Okay. I know you love baseball, and I don't get that either.
I do. But that came later in life.
Okay. That just seems like a way to kill time. I mean, I like any sport in the playoffs because it's like win or go home. That there's some element to that, but over the course of a 162 baseball game season, is that how many they play?
Yes.
There's some games that are going to just where the team's not into it.
Yeah, but it's a great sport I can keep up with during the game.
All right, well.
So it's not happening too fast. Yeah.
Well, how's the new pitching clock thing working out? Do you like it or are you against it?
I think it's great.
Okay.
The games are down to about 2 hours and 40 minutes now.
Shit, that's pretty fast. I mean,
very fast.
I'll have to check. I'll have to give baseball another try.
Did you want to talk about the Timberwolves?
We can.
What their chances are? I think the Wild have better chance than the Timberwolves.
I think the Wild stole one at home, or stole one on the road, which is, key. The Wolves are down 2-0.
Yeah.
And it's against Denver. That's. You remember the bet we made?
Yep.
Okay. How's my guy doing? Is that guy still in it?
Well, he got suspended for a while, but he is back playing.
He's playing. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll follow up on that at a later date, but.
Might be over tonight. I think it's the best of 5.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this: Karl Anthony Towns is so, what do you call it? Reminiscent of all. I feel like every Minnesota sports team has a guy that's great in the regular season, who just cannot stand up to the playoff pressure. And Towns, last year anyway, I was actually into the Wolves last year at the end of the year. and boy, they got under his skin and just made him go away.
Oh yeah, he reacted poorly to all that.
Yeah. What's the deal? Is he? How long is he? Are we pounding him till he's your age or no?
We are, but I don't know if he's going to be the face of.
Anthony Edwards should be.
Yeah, man.
That guy's good. What is he, like 20?
Yeah, he's young.
He's like really young.
You heard about Gobert punching his teammate on.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the whole thing where it was like, oh, the Wolves made the playoffs, and oh, by the way, one guy broke his hand punching what he thought was a curtain. First of all, who punches a curtain? It was McDonald or McDaniels. What's the guy's name?
Yeah, McDaniel.
McDaniel, who is a bright, future and all that. And then we got a guy where we suspend him just as a like the right thing to do, because you're not really supposed to punch your teammate on the bench during the game.
No, during the game. And the camera was on him at the time.
Yeah.
And the wall where McDaniel hit, it's only cement for a foot. So if he took one more step, he would have been all right. But he punched too early and broke his hand.
Wow, what luck.
That's just silly.
Okay. So let's say that he...
That's the epitome of Minnesota sports.
Exactly. Well, it's always something, right?
Yeah.
At least it's they're inventing a new thing. So let's say that he made it past the cement part. He punches a curtain. Does he then go, yeah, I showed it?
But it was like just drywall or soft wall that he wouldn't have hit cement.
Oh, okay.
Blocks.
It wouldn't have just been like fabric.
Yeah.
What's the point of that there, man?
Yeah. But to get your ass kicked by curtains, that's embarrassing.
Hey, I think that you know what? To me, that's how we could solve all our problems in the public schools. Where it's like, you know what? Every once in a while, when you lip off to a teacher, instead of a curtain, you're going to get a little cement there, kiddo. I think that would be great.
Or make them choose and have like curtains covering different wall.
Like, let's make a deal.
Yeah.
Do you want to go with the curtain or the box?
Which one do you want to punch? One you'll be all right. One you'll break your hand. Choose now.
So the prize is just good health at the end. To walk in or to walk out the same way you came in. That seems like a pretty cool concept. Shouldn't cost much. Maybe that orthopedic hand surgery place could sponsor it. But then they would like make the wall a little bigger every.
That's right. Make it all cement.
They'd find out. Oh, it was the whole thing was fortified. You went to Wisconsin this week. What was the occasion again?
My 33rd wedding anniversary. If you believe it or not.
Still going with that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good.
She went her way. I went mine.
Yeah. I was gonna say, where'd she go? So you stayed at the nice resort or what do you call that? That's not a resort, is it?
It was just a hotel in Kohler, Wisconsin.
Super 8. Those are nice. You want to get the King Whirlpool suite.
I can't afford 8. I go with the Motel 6.
Motel 6, Tom Bodette. I saw the original Super 8 motel.
Wow, I didn't know there was an original.
Well, every hotel is an original. They don't start off as chains. It's like, you know what? It's like a fucking Monopoly. A darn Monopoly game. You can edit that out, right?
No, I'm leaving it.
So, it's...
So what city did it start in?
I want to say Aberdeen, South Dakota. It's definitely South Dakota. Also, Little League Baseball started in Millbank, South Dakota. Oh, no, American Legion Ball. Shoot. Sorry. I should know this better. I love driving. I used to have a company I worked for where I would drive a lot from hospital to hospital. Not for me. That's what we sold to. it's like I'm bleeding a lot. Where's the next hospital?
But I've never been to this hospital before.
Hey, look, and an astronaut grew up here. No, but all these towns, they would have some claim to fame on a little sign right next to the name of the town and the population. There'd be another sign saying, "Oh, some guy that played for the Buffalo Bills and lost 4 Super Bowls lived here."
The Corn Palace.
Oaks, North Dakota. That's what I'm referring to there. Corn Palace is a thing, yes, but that's a real thing. I'm saying it's fun to go.
Well, that's a claim to fame for that.
Yeah, and that's a weak claim to fame.
It is. It's very
What is
bad.
the point of the Corn Palace?
We went to it and we didn't understand.
I know.
Other than they put the kernels everywhere.
How has nobody lit that place on fire yet? It's literally made out of corn husks and.
But they change it every year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because otherwise I think it'd be pretty dry by now.
Well, people eat it as they go up and look at it.
Stop it.
Well, it gets cooked in the sun.
Okay. Well, now I kind of want to go back. Anywho, so you went to Wisconsin, and you said it snowed on the way there, which it should in the middle of April, don't you think?
I mean, this was blizzard where they should have closed the road. It was bad.
Okay.
But I survived.
You're a true American hero. You're the Audie Murphy of the Wisconsin highways.
I should get like a medal.
Did you? What was your favorite meal you ate there? And how many times did you eat cheese curds? Because I know you like the cheese.
I did not eat cheese curds.
Really? Dang. You kind of messed up there.
Well, I try to limit the amount of times. I used to only eat it at the state fair, and then I'd eat,
Too much?
Yeah, till I was sick. But
you have to go to the state fair for that. I don't like that fair.
we won't start that.
The state fair is the NBA of
The great
fairs.
Minnesota get together.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the fair.
Well, that's good for you, man.
Ganoush. Is that how you pronounce it?
Ganoush? You mean like the deer-like animal? That's just a gnu.
No, the potato type pastries that are cooked and.
Is it gnocchi? Is it like pasta, but it's not?
Right. Is the G silent?
There's baba ganoush. That's like a Middle Eastern thing, though. That's like eggplant and stuff, I think.
It said
I think
ganoush. It was like a fondue ganoush. GNO CCHI. I don't know.
You got homework. You got homework for next time.
But that was my favorite meal. It was very good.
I can tell.
I'd never had it before, but it was.
Have you had it since?
Well,
I know why, because they go, "What the are you talking about?"
Well, I'm one of
not a
those
real
people that when I order, I point.
Just point at words you can't pronounce, and then
I'll have the fish tacos, and like they've only worked there for 2 minutes, and they don't know what I'm talking about, so I point to the menu. I don't know. I always think that's silly when people point at the menu at a restaurant that the people have worked at.
That's a good point.
Ah.
My wife does that quite a bit. Yeah, as she almost describes it to them. It's the one with yeah, okay. All right, so Wisconsin, did you drink any beer over there? What'd you do other than hang out and do what people do on their anniversaries?
Well, yeah, they have free wine at night.
Free wine at night. You sound like a certain relative of my wife who we don't have a name for those folks, but it's like, oh, that hotel that costs $400 a night has free breakfast. It's like, sure, yeah, okay.
Well, they have
like a wine reception.
Yeah, every night, and they have snacks and.
Is it good wine? Is it like Wisconsin wine or something?
Is that
Mondavi? Is that good? That's bad, isn't it? I can't tell. I don't know wine from nothing, so.
I wasn't much of a wine drinker, but we went there last year, and I kind of got hooked on it.
Okay. Well,
so I drink wine now.
So you're an alcoholic, is what you're saying, or?
Well, maybe, but I don't think you can be, because wine and beer are not drinking, remember?
You can't get drunk on Coors Light. I know that.
And Mondavi is probably not a good wine that you can get drunk
See,
on.
I don't. That could be Mondavi. Could be like a.
A Merlot.
Well, I'm sure they make other wine.
Right, but they always have the Merlot there.
Did you ever see the movie Sideways?
Yeah, but I don't remember it.
There's a great line. And is that guy dead? No, it's Giamatti. He's still alive. It's Philip Seymour Hoffman that died.
Yes.
I always confuse those two. But he made a reference to, they were going to a party, and he goes, if they're serving blank and Merlot, I'm leaving. So whenever I hear Merlot, I assume it's a substandard wine for the wine snob. But I know you're not a wine snob. You're not even a beer snob.
I can't drink your fancy beers.
Hey, you ever thought about how drinks got their names? And are they naming new ones or not? Because I remember like the Harvey Wallbanger has been around forever.
And old fashions are back in style right now, I guess.
They really should call them new fashions, don't you think? I don't get old fashions. I kind of do, but there's like different, like you can have brandy or you can have bourbon. I don't know much about distilled stuff.
See, that's why I never ordered mixed drinks, because I never knew what was in them.
I like some fancy drinks, but they cost like, $20 and
They have an umbrella.
and I drink them at the same rate that I drink a light beer. And
Bring me something blue.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the last haircut I got. Something that resembles what they put the combs in? And that would be fun, with a splash of pineapple.
Isn't that from The Jerk? Where's my umbrella?
Yeah, that is from The Jerk. That's a Steve Martin. Yeah, it's a good movie. What do we got there? What's that say?
36.
36, you say. Wow. Well, that's cool.
But no, I don't know much about mixed drinks like we covered. It was more beer and wine.
There's a drink at the little restaurant at the... Ooh. Oh, you can hear that on the mic. I'm itching my neck. I got to shave. I don't think people need to know that. I'm not like rubbing it on the microphone, because when I could, just want you to know, I'd shred it, but...
You do have a face for radio.
A big radio too. So there's this place that the wife and I like to go, well, we might as well say what it is, because we're looking for sponsors. Chianti Grill, and they have a drink that's called the Italian Blizzard, and it's basically it's like ice cream, and it's got amaretto, Bailey's, and Frangelico. Might be some Clue in there too, but it's like an adult milkshake, and it's just delicious. I thought I'd let you know that.
Well, we had it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Did you try some of that?
Yeah.
That was good.
It was good.
It's like something I wouldn't make at home, because
It's something you can't drink very much of it, because it's
Mark,
so heavy and rich.
Yes, you can. You just gotta want it, Mark. you have to want to put yourself through the price that you'll have to pay for that. So, all right. Well, I think both of us are non-mixed drink people, and that's okay. I know some people that are.
How did rum and coke get its name?
I'm not positive, but I think someone over at Pepsi was dicking around, and they. How did Pepsi feel about that? Roman, what? So anyhow.
Well, my wife, growing up, or even with the kids, she'd say, "Do you want a Coke?" And that just meant, "Do you want?"
In the South, a Coke,
a soda.
A Coke is just any kind of pop. What kind of Coke you want? Oh, I'll take a root beer. Huh? Yeah.
And pop is very Midwestern to say, because they don't say that on the East Coast or down south or anything.
So pop, is that what we call it up here?
Yeah.
I get confused.
Most people call it, if it's not a Coke down south, it's soda. Do you want a soda?
Water fountain or a bubbler, all that kind of crap. Well, this is, we're rounding out this episode poorly. Do we have anything controversial we could talk about just for the last couple of minutes anyway? The prediction on the, Wolves, you think they'll lose tonight? And
No, I think they'll win this one and lose the next one.
You think they'll win one game against the Lakers? No, it's the Nuggets. Okay.
And the Wild will win tonight.
I believe that the Wolves will be swept tonight, if that is in fact a 5-game series. And I believe that the Wild will win tonight, but I think it's going to be a super entertaining game because I think that there's going to be some gloves on the ice tonight. I think there's... And you know what? I really want to see Ryan Suter get the crap kicked out of him because he's such a douche. Can we say that? He's not a nice guy. And he was terrible for the Wild. He wasn't terrible. He just wasn't good, and he costs a lot of money. I'm not a big Ryan Suter fan, if you can tell. But he was just cranking on Kaprizov the other night, and it was pissing me off. So I want bad things to happen to him on the ice, legally, all that stuff. I think the Wild will maybe take it to 6, but they'll lose because it's a Minnesota team. And do you think they'll lose the series or win the series?
I think they'll win the series.
Wow. Okay, there we go. We got something to measure for next time.
But to bring up real quick, the fighting.
Yes.
You're sitting there pummeling a guy, and then you get traded to that team. And you're sitting next to the guy on the bench that you pummeled 4 or 5 times.
There's great stories about that. There was a guy. Weird. So there was a guy. Oh, I can't think of his name. Anyway, he got Bugard broke his face, and then he wound up getting traded to the Wild. And so they're literally on the same bench or in the same locker room with the guy that he like broke his cheekbone. I was there at that game, and it was like the crowd just went like, oh, like it was a real like the sound it made when he just crushed his head. But anyhow, so well, all right, we've got some real cliffhangers here. You'll have to tune in to episode 5 if you have the stomach for it. We're going to round this one out. We just want to say thank you if you did listen. If you did listen, if you could do us a giant favor and tell some friends or share it around a little bit. I think if you're on Spotify, you can follow us or whatever platform you're listening to. We're just trying to build this thing up a little bit. Our goal is to get $1 each in sponsorship, and then we'll quit.
Wow.
In fact, if somebody wants to send us $2, we'll give you the equipment and just be done with this. But
people are just going to give us 99 cents now because they want us to continue.
That's fine. We just need a lot of those little donations coming in. Anyway, we're doing this for the love of the game. But email address is theascertainers@gmail.com. If you have any notes, we'll take them. We got thick skin.
Yeah, please give us suggestions or what we want to talk about. How we could make it better.
I don't think Mark slurred as much as he could have. I'm a little worried about that. But yeah, and then we just hope you come back, and hope that this gives you a break from whatever you're dealing with day to day, or if you're driving or whatever it is. We appreciate you and each other, and life is a precious thing. So go out and have a great week.